Welcome, Preston Knight fans, courtside in the Castle, midway through the holiday break, the Christmas break. And we hope that you all had a very Merry Christmas. I know we did at Mountain Digital and back at the home place, back at the fort. And winging his way back to us in time for this game, Bob Meisner, who, as it turns out, did not miss a thing. Our technical director flew out of town. They canceled the ball game. He flew back into town. We're playing a ball game. I'm not saying that that's in any way connected, but you be the judge. Hey, Bob's here. I'm Steve Blake here courtside. And joining me tonight, the Swami, Jack Kime. Jack, introduce yourself to the folks at home.
Well, I think most of them probably know me. They've heard me on the other side of this on the radio for years. And I'm glad that you're giving me the opportunity to try the picture part of it and see how well I can do on that.
Watch him while he's in your homes, ladies and gentlemen. He's been known to sneak out to the refrigerator and grab a snack when you're not looking. Okay, we're just about set here in the Castle for pregame activity, so we'll be going to the floor here momentarily for the introduction of players. We'll Let's go to the floor for the national anthem right now. And now we'll meet the varsity cheerleaders for Preston High.
Coached by Deborah Ziegler and Tina Silva. Senior captains, Tessa Dolan, Eric Romero, Tiffany Barnett, Michaela Goodwin, Amy Strauss, and Emily Siskel. Juniors, Abby Fultz, Shelby Johnson. Sophomores, Jordan Goodwin, Cassie Hayes, Sarah Savage, Tori Ebert, Shaden Rick, Mariah Murray, and J.C. Lovejoy. Freshmen, Haley Wilkins and Whitney Johnson.
All right, nice job by the young ladies of the varsity cheer squad. And now let's meet the Big Red from Parkersburg, tonight's opponent here in the Castle.
The Big Red come into tonight's action at 2-0, and the Knights come in tonight with a 1-2 record. Of course, they had that postponement with Lincoln. So the Big Red, very young if you look down over their roster, with only 3 seniors on the entire roster.
but they're an athletic and a lanky-looking team, and they look to be pretty fast.
Yeah, that I'm sure we're going to see some speed out of them. They start 3 juniors, a sophomore, and a senior on their starting lineup. So I'm sure they may be looking ahead to next year.
Well, isn't everybody looking ahead to next year at this point, Jack? Next year, literally just right around the corner as we wrap up basketball here in December with a slate of games tonight and tomorrow night here in the Castle. And now the Preston Knights taking the floor, and it's good to see number 3, Brandon Black, healthy enough to get back on the hard court here. He injured that ankle in an early game, re-injured it in practice, and has not been much of a factor for the Knights, definitely not as much of a factor as he would like to be with his athleticism, speed, and inherent ability to just drive other teams' guards absolutely crazy trying to advance the ball at times.
And he also must have got a new pair of tennis shoes for Christmas if you look at them green shoes and red strings.
Well, they do stand out a little bit. Flashy, I think, is the word for those.
Right.
Hey, he's in the holiday mood. We hope that y'all are in the holiday mood. I'll bet there are some leftovers hanging around that you can enjoy while you watch this replay on Cable Channel 7 of tonight's contest as the Preston Knights take on the Parkersburg Big Red. And we approach center court now, and it's time to get this game underway. So varsity ball about to go down here in the Castle.
Size-wise, the Knights match up pretty well against the Big Red as far as height goes.
Yeah, the key factor is going to be determined with, I think, with speed, and with speed, can the Knights stay out of foul trouble? Well, they get off to a good start there as Aaron Monroe won the tip. Jimmy Galuski put the ball in the basket, and you see the Big Red respond immediately, hammer that ball back down court before the Knights can even think about setting the defense.
Yeah, they're not going to waste any time getting up and down the floor as the Coalbank put it in for the Big Red.
Preston now with Galuski up top here. Takes a look and dishes that ball left side. Brandon Black wants to get an inlet pass there and can't find any way to do it.
There's the quickness on that almost steal over Galuski over there.
Yeah, Jimmy's going to have to really value possession of the ball. Sometimes he gets to thinking about what he wants to do and gets a little sloppy with the ball. He can't do that tonight. Preston battling, got a put back there off the miss by Galuski that wouldn't fall, and now the Big Red go back to work on offense. They swing it right side here. Long three-point attempt by Ramsey off the front of the rim, and it's Brandon Black who hustles it into the front court for Preston. Ringer just off the mark with that three-point attempt. Nobody's been able to find the long-range ball here yet tonight, Jack, but the Big Red going to keep trying. That right now is to Preston's advantage because it gives us opportunities to rebound and get that ball back one and done.
Yes, so far Preston's held their own on the board. There's Galuski with another basket.
That's going to be a long two-pointer, so that's 4 for Jimmy, and it's a 4-2 Preston lead.
Michael Ramsey, the point guard for the Big Red, as he controls it out front.
Good job defensively staying tough on the baseline by Preston that time. Galuski unable to get the rebound.
Darren Wade, the 6'3 junior, puts that basket back in for the Big Red.
Wade just out-muscled Jimmy that time, got position and kept it. And Jimmy got a fingertip on the ball but wasn't able to tip it away, get it out of there. All right, all knotted up at 4, 5:11 on a turning first quarter clock. And the Preston Knights trying to set something up here, and as Jimmy tried to advance the ball, we saw it there off the side of his foot. And how big was that rebound? For Preston, but to get no points. Well, the guy who's lit up here all of a sudden is Wade for the Big Red. 2 putback baskets and 4 points for him, and it's a 6-4 lead.
Coach Sanders immediately wants a timeout as Mr. Wade has come up with 2 offensive boards and put both of them back up in for points. And the Knights can't afford that.
No, he's no doubt emphasizing how much they're going to have to block out and keep him off the boards at all costs.
And I really believe that Coach Sanders is going to put his players in that bearing mode of offense and spread them out and make sure they don't get in a hurry as they shoot.
4:34 on the clock as the ball comes into play here now. Preston will own it, and they'll go the length of the court here. Nice crowd filling in the Castle here, and we're glad you joined us courtside. Good group of Castle crazies out tonight. And from the left side, Galuski right to the rim, and Jimmy Galuski, no messing around that time, took it right to the rack for his 6th point.
And we have a turnover as we took about 14 steps before we started down the lane and put the ball on the floor.
No, that wouldn't happen. All right, Brandon Black in control out front for Preston. Swings it right side. Galuski with the ball.
Yeah.
Into a trap there. They doubled him, but they fouled him. So the blocking call.
And that'll be on Wade. That's his first foul. That's the first foul of the game. And Preston will put it in play.
So Wade just a little bit over-aggressive defensively. And now Galuski taking some instruction from the bench. And he'll turn and start the offense here. Oh, in traffic, Monroe cleans up the ball, kicks it out. And the Knights have their first 3. And I think Brandon Black is going to pick up a foul here. It may be a little questionable.
Yeah, that was
certainly in the minds of most of the fans behind our location, and Coach Sanders is working the official hard right here.
And that was right in front of the Castle Crazies, and they weren't too tickled with it either.
Yeah, not at all. That was one of those, this could go either way, and it went exactly the wrong way for Preston. Black has been known to get a little loose with his play if he gets in foul trouble especially, and right there the officials light him up with foul number 1. Hand off to Galuski. And Jimmy, he'll draw the foul as he goes to the basket.
The foul was called on Levi Hayes underneath the basket there, and Galuski will be at the line.
That'll be team foul number 2 for the Big Red. And Jimmy puts that one up off the front of the iron, and he has uncharacteristically had some trouble in games of late from the line. typically about an 85-88% free throw shooter.
I think he gets in a hurry with his first shot, and then he settles down on the second one.
Proves to be the case right there as he is 1 for 2. And it's a 10-8 two-point Preston lead here. With time winding under 3 minutes, 2:48 on the clock now here, first quarter. And that ball going to belong to the Big Red under the offensive board.
And the Big Red are using a lot of their bench. There already been 2 substitutes come in for the Big Red, so that could be a difference too as the Knights try and keep up with the Big Red.
Yeah, when we get late in the game, it definitely begins to tell on Preston if we haven't been able to get minutes off the bench. Shot well off the mark, the three-point attempt at the 2.5-minute mark. And the ball out to Preston, and that gives Coach Sanders an opportunity to do what we were just talking about, and that is get some subs in there.
Murray comes in for the Knights along with Ringer.
And with Murray in there, that still gives you a pretty good body size, but it gives Aaron Monroe a chance to take a little break. And Monroe, the quiet man, has been doing a lot in the paint there tonight. And Galuski with the bounce. Now it's a 13-8 Preston lead, and the Knights heating up a little bit offensively. But it's all Jimmy Galuski at this point, and he's going to have some help scoring the ball. But sooner or later, the Big Red are just going to say, fine, we'll put 3 guys on you if we have to, but we're not going to let you shoot anymore.
Yeah, that's the thing. Galuski is accounted for all of the Preston points that I have on my score sheet. And now we got another foul on the Big Red as Levi Hayes picks up his second personal foul, and of course it's Galuski again. And off the bench come a couple of more players for the Big Red. Like I said, they're freely substituting, and the Knights go about 7 deep, and they're going to have to work with this.
Here's Ringer, a 3-ball attempt that comes off long, off the back of the iron there. And Mitch Ramsey runs it up into the front court for Parkersburg.
And Murray will pick up the personal foul, and non-shooting foul. We'll put it in play. Andrew Butcher for the Big Red is one of those players off the bench.
But Preston with 2 team fouls, a near steal by Galuski there. And they'll work it into the corner. Oh, nice rebound and a putback there that doesn't fall for Andrew Butcher as he comes in and has some immediate impact there.
Matt Vero come down with that defensive rebound, and now the Knights are going to spread it out and work, I would think, for the final shot of the quarter.
Yeah, 41 seconds on a turning clock as they go to work here. Well, Ringer has other ideas. Gets that ball up high there. Vera unable to guide it into the basket. And now, a lob comes off the rim. Shot in and out.
Spencer Lively with a rebound.
Landon Miller missed that, and Lively quick to grab it up for Preston, and now Ringer will walk it up over half court and swing it right side. Lively with the ball. Cross court, Galuski turns. Oh, they're going to call a hold.
That's on Butcher. Andrew Butcher is a junior, 6'1".
For just a second there, I thought the official was going to call a travel on Jimmy Galuski. I'm really glad he didn't. All right, time expires with no harm done that time for the Knights, unable to get the ball to the rim. We come to the end of one. It's a 13-8 Preston lead. So the good thing is we're leading. The bad thing is we got to get some more people involved in the offense. We'll talk a little more about that when we come back right after these messages here on Cable Channel 7, your hometown TV station.
From a simple switch, troubleshooting a problem, a new service, to that backup generator that you'll need in times of emergency, Blake Electric can handle all your electrical needs. They have the experience and knowledge to do it professionally and safely and do the job right the first time.
We return to the floor of the Castle in the Parkersburg Big Red with Jadarian Wade in charge of the ball here, and he'll inbound it, and the Big Red go to work, trailing your Preston Knights 13-8. But it's kind of an iffy thing here because the Big Red are just bringing numbers. They're like the Chinese army coming across the river.
Yeah,
they just keep bringing more bodies into this game, and Preston right now has not been able to find the range with the exception of Jimmy Galuski. Jimmy's done a great job scoring the ball in the first quarter. Take nothing away from him. He's got 13 first quarter points, but that's all the points we got.
Yeah.
And we're going to have to get somebody else involved in the offense before the Big Red just try to take him out of the game. It's already beginning as we can hear Coach Barry Sanders arguing on every possession that they're beating Jimmy senseless, and there are no calls. All right, back to the action here as Galuski gets the long rebound along the baseline, runs it up. He's guarded closely.
Colbank has got the honors of guarding. And there we go. We got somebody else.
All right, Spencer Lively steps up, the 6'4" sophomore, his first two of the evening, and the Knights have a 15-8 lead now, and you got to feel a little bit better if we can give the Big Red something to look at other than Jimmy with the ball.
Wade puts it up, and that's his 6 points. So he scored 6 out of 10, and Galuski has scored 13 out of 15. So Wade and Galuski are trying to go after each other.
Brandon Black swings it back out to Galuski. Galuski back to the center. Back out to the jump circle. He backs out with the ball and works it in again. And now they're starting to double him every time he drives. Defense collapses on him. And that ball well short, and it results in an easy run out for the Big Red. Colbank with the 2 points at the end of that one.
There was a classic example of Jimmy trying to feel the pressure of taking it on himself and got trapped in that lane. Underneath, the ball's tapped out by the Big Red, so Preston will have the ball under the basket, and we get some people back into the game for Preston as Monroe comes back in and Spencer Murphy comes off of the bench, and he's going to give Vero a break. Lively.
A little bit too strong with the shot, now fighting for the ball in there. And that's going to belong to the Big Red. So that was a held ball as Aaron Monroe got in there and immediately went after the ball and tied it up. But the possession arrow favoring Parkersburg. 5 minutes and 39 seconds on a turning first half clock here. Again, there you see an athletic move across the lane. Jordan Colbank twisting, turning with the running one-hander up and in. He's got 6 points now, and that's 14 for the Big Red. Monroe, the turnaround, blocked, and he goes hard to the floor. We get a whistle.
Be out of bounds to the Knights as it came off of the hands of Michael Ramsey.
Preston with a 1-point lead here. Black gets it into the corner. Galuski with the immediate shot. And tracking it down is Lively. So Preston, another opportunity here. They'll set the half-court offense. They'll spread this out a little. Inside 5 minutes we go of the first half. And now Lively will drive, stop, pops it up. Oh,
in and out.
Rims out. Good-looking shot by Lively, just wouldn't fall. All right, the Big Red. Oh, and there we have Brandon Black picking the pocket.
And Galuski goes to the basket. He's fouled. Nice play by Brandon Black on the defensive end as he flat just outmaneuvered the Big Red player on that one.
Well, he came from the backside, got that ball cleanly away, and, you know, a kid with his speed, typically the urge is, I'm going to take this one coast to coast and put on a show. He did the smart thing. He pulled up at the last second, got it to Jimmy, who was in better shooting position. Jimmy draws the foul. And now from the line, well, one of two.
The foul was called on Jordan Colbank. That's his first personal. And on the missed free throw, the Big Red knock it out of bounds. So Preston gets it in to Monroe.
Lively working with the ball here, trying to make something happen. He's going to drive and lay it in. Went with the offhand from the left side, took it all the way up, put it right in the box. All right, 4:04. And the Big Red don't waste much time answering.
Colbank is a very, very athletic young man, and he's putting on a little bit of a show himself here in the second quarter. Jimmy Galuski now will bring it back out, and he's going to make somebody come out and guard him. As Colbank stands back at the three-point line, and he's letting Jimmy stand out there and dribble time off the clock. Now he comes out on him.
All right, Brandon showing about as much patience as I've ever seen Brandon Black show with a basketball in his hand. Really, honestly, he's doing a good job here. Just standing out there in the jump circle with a nice, slow, calm dribble inside 3 minutes. And the Knights obviously trying to force the Big Red to come out.
And there goes Monroe. That was almost caught Monroe sleeping there as Brandon Black threw that from the center circle underneath the basket, and Monroe fumbled a little bit.
He didn't waste any time getting it there. Caught Aaron Monroe wide open, but I don't want to say Aaron was napping down there, but Aaron draws the foul, and he draws the front of the iron here. Needs to step back, take a breath, and put this one in. Now Ramsey's coming back into the lineup for the Big Red here as they rotate personnel once again. Monroe with the second shot.
It's off the back of the rim. Preston's going to have to make free throws before this game's over, I got a feeling.
Yeah, that's going to be crucial.
A long rebound, and they said that one off of Preston.
Not sure how all the way down there, but okay.
Yeah.
Officials closer to it than we are. Obviously, they must know the difference between red and white. And here come the Big Red.
And underneath, a nice play in there by Matt Vero.
Yeah, Colbank trying to get that inlet pass there, working diligently, and he made a nice pass, and Vero just denied possession of the ball. And here's Vero high in the air with a nice rebound. Off the missed shot. Oh, and then Ringer is going to get his pocket picked.
Call for traveling.
Travel call.
Colbank was called for a travel before he got the shot off. They picked the pocket of Ringer, and here we go. As underneath, there again we missed the shot underneath. Fighting for it, and
2 misses, 3 misses. And now it's Black who says, okay, let's get this ball up court, quick. He does take it coast to coast this time. Can't quite finish, not quite strong enough. And I don't know if that ankle injury had anything to do with the problem there with his finish on that run out. But the Big Red now tie it at 18 with that basket.
Galuski goes to the basket, and again, Jimmy Galuski is just as athletic as anybody on the floor. And
just as determined, if not more so sometimes. And that time, we saw the ball come out a little bit. Jimmy just said, no, this one's mine, guys. I got it. And he took it right to the rack.
And he's missing his
in and out. Vero, huge rebound of the missed free throw. Ringer with a 3 in the bottom of the net. All right, that's a good time for Jared Ringer to wake up and put one down. And it's 23-18. It was 18-18 less than 28 seconds ago. And now here comes Galuski, left side, up and in. And Jimmy Galuski is on a mission right now. Colbank, he's going to kick it out left side. That one off the glass and rims out, and it's Vero again on the baseline. And now inside a minute, and Coach Sanders is waving at his team to spread the floor. When you have the likes of Galuski, Ringer, and Black out there on the court, it's hard to hold them ponies back.
Yeah, they know one speed, and that's get the ball to the basket.
Deep in the corner we go, and then back across. Now it's Ringer who turns. And Coach Barry Sanders is asking for a timeout with 26 seconds to go. And I think that may have had as much to do with the fact he didn't think he was going to be able to hold the boys back much longer
right.
without taking a timeout. So the Knights take a timeout. We take a look at the Castle Crazies celebrating across the way as the Knights here with 26 seconds to go have broken out to a 25-18 lead after being all tied at 18. And facing some full court pressure from the Big Red, the Knights were a little disconcerted there, a little confused for just a second or two. Ringer had his pocket picked. The ball got stolen again. The Knights had a miss, and the ball came back the other way quickly, and 2 scored to tie it up. And then Jimmy Galuski kind of put the whole card on his shoulders for a possession. Banged one in hard from the right side, and then the
Ringer
Knights sort of
three-pointer.
Yeah, the Knights sort of loosened up a little bit then. Ringer got open for a 3, and Preston started coming back to doing what they know how to do. All right, here's Ringer, far side. On the dribble.
They got Butcher for pushing in the back. He had both hands on his back.
Double teamed there, and Ringer turned and showed him his back, and he just shoved him. Pretty easy call, but it was a while coming.
And
all
Ringer
right, Jared.
Will go for a 1-and-1 at the line.
Jared Ringer. And is that Ringer's 4th point on the evening?
Yes, sir.
All right, he's got them both.
That's what we need.
Ringer, Ringer with 5. We need the free throws, and we need a variety of contributors here to keep the Big Red from focusing down to just a micromanaged game.
Whoa.
All right, that ball throwing up there wild at the end and unable to score the basket was Andrew Butcher. And so the Knights will take a 27-18 hard-fought lead into the locker room here as we come to the halftime break.
That was very close at that, right there at the end of Ringer getting called for an unnecessary foul, and it would have been 3 free throws.
Well, Ringer was being very aggressive. I will give you that, but the official right on top of it, and it's just like that out of bounds across the way that we disagreed with. He's closer than we are. We're going to go with what he said this time. Okay, we come to the end of the first half of play here in game number 1 of our series of games here this holiday weekend from the Castle. We'll be back tomorrow night as Preston will play again. But this round robin continues, and we will take a break right here for the sponsors that bring you coverage of Preston Knight varsity basketball here on Atlantic Broadband, Cable Channel 7, your hometown TV station. And we'll be back to get ready for second half action right after this.
From a simple switch, troubleshooting a problem, a new service, to that backup generator that you'll need in times of emergency, Blake Electric can handle all your electrical needs. They have the experience and knowledge to do it professionally and safely and do the job right the first time.
Well, here we are back in the Castle. We take a peek over the shoulder of Coach Barry Sanders and the Preston Knight Brain Trust into the huddle. And the Knights enjoying a 27-18 lead. But sitting to my left, Jack Comm, a.k.a. the Swami. And you look a little troubled by some of these statistics, Swami.
Well, the thing of it is, Preston got 18 points out of Jimmy Galuski, and out of the rest of the team, we got 9. We were 4 out of 9 at the free throw line. That's got to change. We got to get more help. Of course, on the other side of the ledger, Wade and Colbank each had 8 points, and Butcher threw in 2. So not a lot of different people scoring for either team.
We get set for the ball to come in play here, and Brandon Black will inbound it for the Knights. And that's a name we haven't said in association with scoring for a while here now. And I know he's had that nagging ankle injury, but we'd like to see Brandon back in the scoring column.
And the officials got a little bit of in a hurry as the official timekeeper had not reset the clock yet.
Okay, here we go. Back to play as the Knights go to work here now officially. Ringer with the ball in the inlet down here. Spencer Lively works it in close and scores it. And that's what the Knights need. They need to spread it around a little, and Lively, I have him with 6 points on the evening. That is a welcome addition to the Knights offense here as Lively, the athletic sophomore.
And Lively is a lot stronger than either one of those two guys that's trying to guard him underneath the basket.
Here comes Galuski on the break, into the paint, just inside the free throw line, gets the rebound off the miss, and battles it back up and in, and that's probably one of the most physical baskets I've seen Jimmy make in a while.
The Knights with 8 rebounds and 3 offensive rebounds in that first half. So.
All right, Aaron Monroe flashing out there to defend, but couldn't get there quite in time. And the Big Red put their 21st point on the board. Knights still up by 10. Now it's Ringer, the running one-hander off the back of the iron, high in the air. Then it's one and done for Preston.
Ringer was very surprised that both of those players from the Big Red collapsed off of him and not on him.
Okay, here we go. Brandon Black into the front court, swings it to Monroe. Galuski with a nice inlet pass, got it down in there low to Lively, who ends up on the floor and alertly gets the ball back out and saves the scoring opportunity for Preston.
I wonder how he kept from rolling out of bounds underneath there.
Brandon Black picking up the loose garbage on the floor, and he scores it. All right. Now things are coming around into focus here for the Knights, and Brandon Black with his first 2 of the evening. And we're starting to see what the Knights can do best here.
Colbank drops that one in.
Monroe can't muscle that one all the way up to the rim, and it's tipped out. Last touch maybe by Jared Ringer across the way.
Well, the official was saying white, but he was pointing to the red.
Okay.
I mean,
last Ringer evidently tipped it, then one of the big red players tipped it, and the official got a little confused, and the Knights will take it all the way back court and bring it back in the hands of Ringer, and he looks right side before backing back out front. 3-point attempt, a little short. Galuski tried to clean up his own miss there, and the ball got loose, got off his hands. And here comes Parkersburg. And it's a rebounding clinic. That time down. Colbank just stood in there and kept Pogo sticking up until he got the ball back in the basket.
There, Brandon Black just had a nice, easy shot. He just put it up there too high. Now Galuski's going to pick up a foul. It's his first. Vero comes off of the bench. Vero with a great first half as he picked up about 4 or 5 different rebounds and loose balls in there.
And I'm watching Jimmy Galuski very judiciously ignore the Knight bench because he doesn't want to answer Barry's question about why did you give that foul.
Michael Ramsey picks up the personal foul for the Big Red.
It'll be Lively to inbound. Takes the ball back, runs it down. Nice spin move in the paint, off the glass. Got a little bit out of control at the very, very end of that, and I think lost track of exactly where he was at in relation to the basket as he put that one up off the glass. Ringer dribbling through a 2-man trap there, and normally that's not the thing you want to do, but he gets away with it this time as they back off.
Now, how many times do you see a 6'4" center go out and play the point?
Not often.
And he goes down the lane, a nice play down the lane, and puts up the shot. He's fouled. And the foul, I think, is going to be called on Levi Hayes, and that's number 4. That's what I thought, Levi Hayes, and he's been the one that's been hurting the Knights in the third quarter with 2 3-pointers.
Okay, Lively frustrated with the miss. And now Landon Miller checking back into the lineup for Parkersburg. As Lively gets set. Second one off to the right. Galuski stops, now wants to drive, brings it back out. Ringer. And Ringer is going to be fouled by Jordan Colbank. So very quickly, the Big Red have 3 team fouls. Preston with just 1 on the board right now. And the Knights with a 36-28 advantage at the 3:42 mark of the third period. Oh, in traffic and tied up down there wrestling for the ball.
It's going to be Parkersburg basketball. Colbank or Wade was in there trying to tie up along with Butcher.
Well, and Matt Vero, once they got him down on the floor and they had him double teamed, they pretty much just hog-tied him down there. Coach Sanders asking for a foul, but he's not going to get one in that situation. As the official just looks at him and shrugs like, why'd your man go to the floor?
Now I think Matt Vero is going to pick up his first personal.
Well, Matt's a little frustrated right now, and he's been playing a good game on the boards here tonight. Would like to get into the scoring column and just hasn't been able to get in a situation to score the ball.
Oh, no. We need instant replay because that one there.
or perhaps we don't.
That one there, they called on Brandon Black, and then he kind of set Colbank up for that. And but they got him for a personal foul, and Colbank will shoot 2. And that's the first free throw shot of the night for the Big Red, and they missed it.
Maybe we found Colbank's weakness.
Yeah.
He can hit from anywhere on the court unless it's an uncontested 15-footer. Nope, he's 1 for 2. All right, Colbank gets the second one, and they inch a little bit closer at 36-29. All right, Vero will go to the line here.
Landon Miller is into the lineup, and he replaced Levi Hayes. And Vero misses the free throw. Somebody's got to make a free throw for the Knights.
Yeah, that's going to come back to haunt Preston at the end here. If we can't start hitting
more than 1 out of 2.
More consistently. More than 50% consistently, and the Knights are a better free throw shooting team than 50%. Oh, long range. There's a college range 3-pointer off the fingertips of Mitch Ramsey. So Ramsey makes it 37-32.
Nice play in underneath, and Vero puts it up and in. That was a good play from the start to the finish as they worked the backcourt, got it into the front court, and laid it in.
So Vero with a basket to go with that free throw now.
And Colbank just picked up his third personal foul. So foul trouble's starting to build up for the key players in the Big Red lineup.
But again, they've got some pretty good depth on that bench. I think we've got some pretty athletic kids that we may not even have seen on the floor yet for Parkersburg. Black with a nice little drive and then dished it down the baseline, and he had Vero and Galuski both under there. But the net result is a turnover as the Knights put the ball out of bounds over the end line, just over the 2-minute mark of the third period here.
That's turnover number 5 for the Knights. And that's turnover number 7 for Parkersburg. It's, you can't catch the ball on the outside of that black line in the gray.
Yeah, the Big Red, yeah. Out of bounds is still out of bounds.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, the Big Red play a little fast and loose with that sometimes. They're more apt to walk with the ball or get caught toeing the line there.
And the two coaches are definitely trying to make their presence felt in this game also, as they are voicing their opinions on about every time the whistle blows.
You're not trying to tell me that these guys are getting out of the coaching boxes.
Yeah.
Just a little bit.
Just a little bit, yeah.
Well, it's their gift to the officials this holiday season. They want to give them a good, active game to officiate. Ball picked up by Lively, who chases it back on the roll there.
And there, Galuski started his move. And we got a new player, Zachary Carroll, into the lineup. And he said, well, everybody else is fouling. I think I'll have my shot at it.
Number 20 for the Big Red. Carroll picks up the personal at the 112 mark.
And the head coach for Parkersburg, Jeff Melanello, he's given his opinion.
He's working the officials, but it's his team that's put Preston into 1-1.
Yeah.
I don't understand why he's not upset about that.
Galuski nails that first one this time.
40-32. And Jimmy gets them both this time. And now we come down inside the 1 minute. Well, not quite. 1:05. We're winding down to the 1 minute mark of the third quarter here. You're watching a delayed telecast of the Preston Knights taking on the Big Red from Parkersburg. And this is a team that very much could be an influence in postseason. Well, there was a nice little dance. Jadarian Wade has some moves there.
Underneath the basket that time, there were two red shirts pushing each other around. One of them pushed the Knight, and
who gets the foul?
That's what I was trying to figure out. Did they give it to number 1 or did they give it to somebody else? They gave it to 34. Landon Miller picks up his second foul.
He fouls Ringer, and Ringer now with 46 seconds. Oh, can't get the front end of the 1-and-1 to go.
And Coach Sanders is getting a little frustrated with that foul shot missing. And now we're going to have a foul. That was pretty obvious as Casey Murray underneath the basket was hipping the Big Red player out of the lane.
You know, sometimes players don't like back-to-back games because it's physically stressful, but I'm pretty sure that, you know, they're not going to want to shoot free throws till the cows come home, and that's what they'd be doing if there was practice tomorrow.
Right. And
okay, the Big Red with a mistake there, another turnover. And it'll be Lively to inbound it, and then Black. Black's pointing one way.
The coach in the red
shirt is pointing the other way. The officials are saying, come on, guys, just get the ball in. And in they go, and it's to Galuski, and Galuski gets that one up and in for the Knights' 43rd point. So 43-32. And the answer is a three-pointer.
Ramsey.
And now pressure from the Big Red, and Lively needed to get rid of that ball a little quicker. Oh, the running one-hander, and Brandon Black down on one knee watches it nearly go in. Good effort. Good effort at the end there by the Knights to get that ball up and get a shot attempt off. We come to the end of three. Preston 43, the Big Red 37. Anything can happen. Get ready for the final furious fourth quarter of this one as they're dancing in the castle. We'll be back to join that dance right after these messages here on Cable Channel 7, your hometown TV station.
From a simple switch, troubleshooting a problem, a new service, to that backup generator that you'll need in times of emergency, Blake Electric can handle all your electrical needs. They have the experience and knowledge to do it professionally and safely and do the job right the first time.
Then Brandon Black to inbound the ball here. And he gets set, and the Knights get set for the final stanza of this one, and it's been a good contest here. Jack Kime to my left has worn out 3 pencils keeping stats, and it's only a 43-37 game, so I don't know what he's writing a book over here. Jimmy Galuski with the ball out front for Preston. Working it right to left. Works against Colbank, and the ball comes out. He loses the handle on the way to the basket. And it's tipped away, so Black will inbound. Knights with the ball under the offensive board. Back to Galuski. Ramsey comes off of defending Jimmy and gets the rebound off the long miss. Brings it down, nice inlet pass and a reverse layup there by Wade.
Fouls on Black. That's his third.
And Brandon not happy with that because he knows he's going to have to come to the side.
Wade at the line. And he put it in. And the second one's up and in.
Wade, a good-looking free throw shooter. Got quiet here in the second half.
Now Colbank has picked up his 4th personal foul, and that's big because Colbank is the second leading scorer. He's got 12 points for the Big Red so far this evening. Ringer puts it up and in. Ringer's probably been the most consistent free throw shooter we've had. That makes him 3 out of 4.
Second attempt. Well, we jinxed him, but that's okay because Spencer Lively's right there to grab that ball and put it back for 2.
And we got a turnover. The Big Red with turnover number 9 on the night. And here comes those substitutes in. The quickness,
fresh
legs,
fresh legs, and pressure. That's the scheme for the next 6 minutes and 57 seconds for the Parkersburg Big Red.
Yeah, the Big Red have went about 9 deep, while Preston's only had 7 players. Now they're either going to call a walk or a foul.
Then the officials are talking it over. I think one sees it one way and one sees it the other.
And the official underneath called a walk. The official out front was going to call a foul. And I'm surprised Coach Sanders was as calm about that as he was.
I think he saw the writing on the wall down there. Galuski. Oh, doesn't get it to fall, but he gets the whistle.
And that foul's going to be on Day. And Jimmy will be at the line to shoot 2. He's not had his best night at the line. There, he put it in.
Cole Day defending his first personal. And that is the 10th team foul, so the Knights are in the double bonus now.
And he makes good on that. Now that makes him 4 for 4 in the second half.
Lively. And they're going to foul him as they double team to try to put the pressure on and turn up the heat there and see if they can get him to turn the ball over again. You have to remember, as athletic as he is and as strong as he is, Lively, just a sophomore. So the experience isn't there. But he's getting plenty of experience in this game, Jack.
Yes, he is.
As he steps to the line here.
Well, he misses the first one. Now he's 0 for 3 at the line. And this is where I worry right now is down the stretch. We got to make free throws in the fourth quarter. See, I talked him into that.
Good looking stroke on that second ball by Lively. But again, that's 1 point, so 49-39, Preston by 10. And now here's a takeaway. Galuski with the tipped ball and comes away with it and gets it into the front court, gets it to Lively, and Lively, the big sweeping one-hander from the right side, and Spencer Lively makes his presence felt with a big 2 points there. So the Knights have 51. It's 51-39, but still a lot of time, 5:44 remaining in this contest. But right now the Knights are doing one thing that you have to be pleased to see them adjusting, because I think that, and I didn't see the Wheeling Park game, so I could be missing some information here, but I think that the Parkersburg Big Red have done the best job with the press on Preston of any team I've seen this year.
So far,
we have blown through most press coverages that we've faced at any time, and most teams have backed out of the press rather quickly after trying and failing to be able to even slow the Knights down with a full court press. But Parkersburg was beginning to make some hay with that press, and the Knights have made some subtle adjustments now. But of course the key down the stretch is going to be how well can you shoot free throws.
And back into the Big Red's lineup comes Colbank, with 5 minutes to go and 4 fouls, and you're down 10.
And they don't waste any time. They give him the ball, and he just charges like a bull in there. That one was just all muscle by Colbank. Not a lot of finesse. Oh, in and out. That one popped over the lip of the basket and crawled back out. Ringer with it for Preston, and it's tipped as he tries to get it ahead to Lively, and that's going out of bounds. Last touched by the Big Red. So Preston retains possession. But that was another one of those iffy kind of press break things, and you got to value possession of the ball.
That was a lazy
better than
pass.
that. Okay. They get it ahead. Ringer to Galuski. Cross court. Galuski goes. And that's Lively once again, and Lively is beginning to really find his niche.
There's that other score we needed for Galuski to help Galuski. And underneath, and now Lively picks up an unnecessary foul, but it's only his first.
Yeah, surprisingly, Spencer Lively, for as athletic and as aggressive as he is on the defensive side of the board, he does not foul a lot. He has pretty good control of his body.
Wade puts it up and in. He's 3 for 3 at the free throw line.
Hey, we only got him for 1.
And he makes good on the other one. Now he's 4 for 4.
So Wade in double figures now as Ringer high in the air to take the ball mid-court. Now works it back. They'll work it around Brandon Black, and he'll kick it back. Lively wants to drive, and Colbank swipes at him, but I think they're going to get
Wade.
Wade with the foul. And that will be his third, as he got Spencer Lively on the arm with a little habeas grabus there as he went around.
Yeah. And Lively makes good. That's a good show for Spencer. off the back of the rim, no good. Rebound taken off by Parkersburg. And here.
Oh, deep in the corner. Now, he was a little hesitant to ring that one up earlier, and it cost him a possession, but we can see why Levi Hayes is in there.
And Lively that time tried to hit Galuski, breaking and just threw it to the cheerleaders. And underneath a block shot, and Wade got his own rebound, went back to the basket, put it up and in, and now he's going to get to shoot one, and Lively's going to pick up personal foul number 2. This is one young man I don't think we want to foul too often.
No, good shooter. Good shooter. He's 5 for 5 from the line here. And now we've got a timeout as the Big Red have crept back. 54-49, and this with 4:19 remaining has become another one of those games where, yeah, we let them hang around maybe just a little bit too long.
Well, it's a little bit like the JV game, which the Preston JVs had a big lead, and the Parkersburg Big Red just kept sneaking around and hanging around. And the first thing you know, it was down to a 2-point game, and Preston came away with a 1-point victory at 53-50, or a 3-point victory. Math was never one of my favorite subjects.
They did that by doing what? Shooting free throws well.
Yes, the JVs shot free throws really well, especially in the fourth quarter.
Right now it's the Big Red that is shooting free throws not as often, but very, very well indeed. And it's helped them creep back in as now they'll put the press on once again. And here we go. Vero gets driven to the floor.
And I'd already credited that up to Hayes.
The explanation from the official was slow in coming.
Yes. But it's going to send Vero to the line for and Hayes is going to foul out here with 4:19 to go. Vero up and off the front of the rim. We need free throws, gentlemen. Free throws. And he makes good on the second one.
All right, the Big Red trying to work it quickly here and take advantage of the Knights' lone point scored that time down.
Nice ball handling that time by the Big Red as they run and got loose underneath. And there they tried a pass to go across the inline there, and that's legal. But you got to catch it. You can't bobble it because then it's walking.
Why can't we pass it out of bounds? On a made basket.
Coach Sanders is arguing with that. And
all right, 2 quick baskets and just that fast. It's a one-possession, 55-53 game with 3:38 remaining. All right, well, Coach Sanders got his explanation from the official. He's not happy now. Brandon Black, meanwhile, fouled. He's at the line, puts that one up just a little bit strong, and it goes in the net and comes back out.
I hate this free throw situation we're in.
Black here in the fourth quarter needs to become a contributor, and this is how he's going to have to do it. Well, 1 for 2. 56-53. Just over 3.5 to go. And the Big Red running their half-court offense here again. And as you said earlier, Jack, they are very, very good with the ball handling. Got the look they wanted. Got the rebound they wanted, and now they get the whistle. And that's going to send Colbank back to the line.
And they called that on Brandon Black, and I believe that's number 4 on Brandon.
Yes, indeed. All right, here's Colbank, sets.
Puts it in.
And knocks it down. 56-54. Aaron Monroe up off the Preston bench and coming into the lineup now, and he'll give Vero a break. All right, Colbank with his first miss from the line.
And he's going to foul out on the rebound as he came in to get his rebound, and he ran right into Lively, and the official called it right now. He didn't hesitate a bit. So Colbank's going to foul out with 3:17 to go.
Now that puts a big hurt, a big crimp in the offense for the Big Red. But they have other weapons.
He had 16 points on the night.
Well, he got them back to within 2 at 56-54. And that's the closest they've been since early in the second quarter.
Lively rolls it across the rim. Nice. Soft that time is the reason it went in. It wasn't a line drive like he has shot a couple times. There.
Spencer Lively with 9 big fourth quarter points here. And none bigger than those. 58-56 now with the made basket, and the Knights working the ball far side. Galuski turns and draws the contact and throws the ball ahead to the official at the other end. He'll walk down now.
Right now we're in a free throw shooting contest.
Well, if the Big Red have a fear, it's that they fear the Barry Sanders four-corner slow-motion Barry ball offense.
Well, that's the thing. If Barry can get it into the front court. So far, they haven't let him get it into the front court.
Other than to just walk it down and see how well we can shoot free throws.
And Galuski again with 2 free throws.
So that's 4 in a row there for Preston. And the Knights with 60 and a 4-point lead now.
Ringer picks up a personal foul. That's going to send Darius Batista to the line. And he'll have a couple shots. He's short on the first one. He makes the second one. So
all right, Batista 1 of 2, and now the Knights get it over half court.
And now they pull it out.
And now Jimmy doubled, gets it to Ringer. Ringer drives, kicks it cross court. Oh, dangerous pass to Lively. Lively's going to come in, put that one up, and and count the basket. The blocking foul, and boy, I was sweating bullets on that one, Jack. That could have gone the other way.
Yes, exactly. And that's what
that had all the odor of something called player control violation. But the official saw it Preston's way this time, and that's one of those things that can legitimately go either way.
And Lively gets a three-point play the old-fashioned way.
All right, Lively makes it 63-57 as we come to the 2.5-minute mark. Ringer defending on the shooter. Black with the rebound, pulls it out of the air and charges down. Oh, kicks it to Aaron Monroe, and Monroe strong to the basket and draws the contact and the foul. So Aaron Monroe will go to the line now with 2:21 on the stop clock. Oh, all four corners of the rim and then falls out.
Tough.
Monroe with the second one.
No
Cannot buy a free throw here tonight. All right, Aaron Monroe
and
misses them both, and we get a quick whistle the other way.
Spencer Lively is going to get called for pushing off underneath.
And that'll be number 3 on Spencer.
Right.
And still a very long 2 minutes and 20 seconds remaining.
And Wade is definitely not the young man we want at the free throw line.
No, he's only missed 1 on the evening.
5, 6, 7.
All right, a timeout called after the 2 makes by Wade. Pull it to 63-59. And they got the music cranking in the castle. And the Castle Crazies cranking it up across the way. And the Big Red doing everything they can do to get back in this.
Jadaron Wade has 25 points on tonight for the Big Red. And Jordan Colpanks, who fouled out, he's got 16. And Levi Hayes, who fouled out, wound up with 9. So
pretty good offensive spread there.
Yeah.
For the Big Red. Now, the thing that has come out of the water and surfaced here for the Knights this evening in this fourth quarter, Spencer Lively has become a man among boys as he has stepped up to the line, and he has also scored it from the floor.
He's got 13 points in the third quarter, like Galuski had 13
in the fourth quarter, like Galuski had 13
in the first quarter.
And that's very much the thing we've been missing here for the Knights. And there's Lively picking up the trash once again. Off the floor and up and in for 2.
They get an offensive rebound, another one.
Inside 2 minutes now, and it's Batista, and he throws it away. Throws it right to Brandon Black, and Black gets it to Galuski. And Galuski ends up wearing number 23, Andrew Butcher, like a cheap coat. I thought Jimmy had switched sides. It looked like he had a red jersey on for a minute there. The coverage was so tight. So Butcher picks up his 4th personal.
And Galuski has stepped up his free throw shooting here at the end of the third quarter and into the fourth. As that's 8 in a row. That's more like Jimmy Galuski.
Well, Jimmy has to be the leader. He's the senior. He's the go-to guy. he's got to lead by example, but then you've got to have followers if you're a leader. And tonight he's had some following. All right, Galuski with a big rebound. Now Lively back, long cross-court pass to Jimmy in between two defenders. As Jimmy forces his way in there, and he's going to get the foul, but wow, that's a dangerous move there. Oh, first miss in a while from the line.
Right.
(67-59), 1:17 remaining as Galuski readies his second shot and rattles it home. Oh, long three-point attempt in and out. The rebound was by Wade.
I think they're going to get Spencer Lively for number 4.
Spencer, box out.
That'll put Wade on the line.
Like we've said, all since the beginning of the fourth quarter, he's not the guy you want on the line.
68-60. And now 61. So the Knights by 7 with 1:06. And Coach Sanders wants a timeout. He wants a timeout so bad he turns around and announces it to the crowd. I called a timeout.
And we got a 7-point lead with 1 minute and 6 seconds to go. That's a 3-possession game, and that makes, if you score 2 threes, it's a 3-possession game. But
well, and the Big Red have the three-point shooter still in there.
Right.
That can do just that. But what has to happen is they've got to be able to work that ball around and get an open look. And the Knights have got to just completely have the wheels come off their free throw shooting. Because we know that Parkersburg is not going to allow that ball over half court if they have any say in the matter.
And any tie-up gives the ball to Parkersburg. So any jump ball situation, Parkersburg has the possession error. So the Knights
all right, 1:06. They reset the offense here. Knights facing full court pressure. And Galuski running down the far side, and he's fouled.
and Ramsey, that's his second personal foul. So we can't get rid of him. And we'll put Galuski at the line again. He makes the first one. He's been at the line 10 times in the fourth quarter and made 9 of them. That's the way you're supposed to shoot foul shots in the fourth quarter.
Down the stretch, 70-61. Down the stretch go the Knights here. From the line, they've done well. Here's Galuski, pulls up.
And there he was tackled almost.
Oh, yeah. Wade just runs out there and puts an arm around his waist. Didn't go crazy, didn't take him to the floor or anything as dramatic as that.
And Wade's going to foul out with 51 seconds to
He
go.
knew that was number 5 coming. He wanted to make it a good one, Jack. He has done everything he can for the Big Red here tonight and then some. Jadarian Wade.
29 points I have him with.
That's a pretty good evening's work. Here's Galuski holding them off, 72-61. We go inside 1 minute now. And the Big Red looking for the shooters and looking to try and score that ball quickly. Will retain possession on the rebound. And that ball hangs on the rim and refuses to fall. And now Brandon Black, and Brandon needs to stay in control here.
And I think that's going to be number 5 on Brandon. So with 30 seconds, he fouls out and has 3 points on the evening.
Brandon tends to get a little emotional at times like that. Coach Sanders doesn't want him to get a technical, get thrown out of a game for no good reason and then have to set. He's done enough setting with that bad ankle.
Right. Carroll at the line puts it up and puts it in. The second one goes in and out, and Lively with the rebound.
Ringer to Galuski, and now they'll foul Jimmy.
I mean,
Jimmy will just force him to foul at this point so he can go to the line. I mean, we all know it's coming. He knows it's coming, and they know they're going to have to do it. So he's just going to force the issue.
Ramsey makes foul number 3 with 22 seconds to go. Galuski will shoot 2 more. That's short. His arm's getting tired.
Maybe a little quick with the release that time.
10-point lead for the Knights. Second one is
Preston
up no
now
good.
just doesn't want to foul. Don't do anything that will stop the clock.
Right. Let
play
him take
play
shot.
a little defense. Slow them down. Let them take a shot.
Don't foul him.
Inside 10, inside 7.
Let him go.
Inside 5.
Let him go. Let him go. Let him shoot. There's not a 10-point shot.
All right, there you have it. It's an instant Castle Classic here in December as we wind down 2013 with basketball here at Preston High. And the Preston Knights take on the Parkersburg Big Red and come away victorious 72-62 in a very entertaining contest here in this round-robin event. Now, the Knights will be back in action once again just within 24 hours, and I'm sure the boys are probably happy about that because they made enough mistakes. They don't want to have to go to practice and get coached. At any rate, we're going to take a break right here as the Knights celebrate and huddle around Coach Sanders. We will take a break for these messages from the sponsors that bring you these delayed telecasts of Preston Knight varsity basketball. But we'll be back with the Mountain Digital Coaches Show and some thoughts on the upcoming game right after this. So don't go anywhere.
From a simple switch, troubleshooting a problem, a new service, to that backup generator that you'll need in times of emergency, Blake Electric can handle all your electrical needs. They have the experience and knowledge to do it professionally and safely and do the job right the first time.
All right, we are back in the castle as it empties out, but there'll be another crowd back here in less than 24 hours as we get set here with the Mountain Digital Post-Game Report. Steve Blake alongside the Swami, Jack Kime. And Jack, I hope your first TV experience was fun here on Cable Channel 7. That might induce you to come back and do it again.
Well, I have enjoyed myself. I just hope you don't lose a lot of listeners out there before this is over. But it was really nice. Had a nice time.
Well, I'm glad you enjoyed it, and I'm glad the fans enjoyed tonight's contest, what ended up being a 72-62 victory. But, you know, this game was a lot closer and more competitive than that 10-point win by the Knights would evidence. In my mind, this was sort of a coming-of-age moment here for some of these players on the Preston Knights squad. We saw Jimmy Galuski come out and score the first 13 points for the Preston Knights, and we started bemoaning the fact that to this point in the season, He's had only sporadic help offensively. But by the time this game was over, we began to find some keys maybe to some help with that. And the Knights did one thing that we said they must do. We said early, I said early, and I think you agreed with me, that the Knights would have to shoot free throws well down the stretch to win this game. And that turned out to be true.
Well, yeah, that's the thing that saved them there in the fourth quarter. They shot 21 out of 29 at the free throw line in the fourth quarter, and that's pretty daggone good when you look at really up to that point they'd shot 6 of 14.
It's going to be real interesting on the coaches' show to hear Coach Barry Sanders' take on this, because I know he was getting lined up to make somebody run laps earlier in the contest when they were only shooting about 50% from the line. Didn't matter who went up there. But they got better as the game progressed, and they faced a type of pressure defense from an athletic, wide, fast team that evidently had paid attention to the scouting and knew what the keys were, because they did give the Knights more trouble, I think, with the pressure defense than any team we've seen up to this point this season.
I agree with that. The Knights, of course, neither one of us got to see Wheeling Park, but I can't believe that Wheeling Park had any stronger defense than what the Knights faced here tonight, as the Parkersburg team was very athletic, very quick, and speed, which we thought would be a problem early on. Really, the Knights' strength with Spencer Lively and Matt Vero underneath, I think, balanced out that speed that the Parkersburg team had a little bit of an edge against the Knights, as they worked really hard this evening at balancing out and making sure Parkersburg wasn't able to control things under the board and have the speed too.
Yeah, and I thought when Vero was out of there and Aaron Monroe was in the contest, as they kind of go back and forth, I thought Aaron was kind of the quiet guy who did a lot of things in the background that maybe don't get you in the stat book very much, but they keep your team poised and in balance on the floor, and he helped on the boards, and he helped defensively tremendously. And I just thought that the Knights were able to go at least 7 deep, tonight, very effectively. And sometimes that hasn't always been the case, that they can bring someone in but yet remain effective. I thought Jared Ringer did a nice job tonight, had a timely three when Preston needed some scoring, as well as some other baskets. Had a little trouble from the free throw line, but did what he had to do, played his role. And we know with a Barry Sanders coach team, it's all about role play. Everybody does their job, and hopefully it all adds up to a win. It did tonight here against the Big Red. And, of course, now the Knights will go on tomorrow night to play John Marshall here once again in the Castle. So that'll be another delayed telecast and another opportunity for Preston to come out here and show us what they can do. But I think tonight, overall, what we've learned is that they need Brandon Black on the floor. They need his speed. They need the mayhem that he creates defensively. Now, if we can get him healed up fully, and I don't think he is yet, and get him strong so that on those drives to the basket, when he slashes to the basket, he can finish strong off that injured leg. I think the Knights will have another offensive weapon to go along with Jimmy, to go along with, now we've discovered Spencer Lively, and hopefully that is something that continues, is that Spencer continues to grow as a part of this offense. He certainly did a tremendous job tonight. I think you've got some totals there, and I know there were a lot of points scored on both sides by the key players. Right. But give us kind of a final picture here. Who did what, Jack?
Well, for the Knights, of course, Jimmy Galuski had a really outstanding night. He had 38 points on the night. He was 15 out of 21 from the free throw line in that fourth quarter. and that's where the difference was. And, of course, Spencer Lively, the other double-figure night scorer, he had 19 points on the night, and he was 5 out of 6 at the free throw line in the fourth quarter. And that that's where the Knights really made hay in the fourth quarter, was at the free throw line. And we said early on that we felt that's where it was going to be.
I'm going to take a stab in the dark here and say that 19 points is a career night for a sophomore. Spencer Lively has gotten good playing minutes and even got some time as a freshman last year, but I believe 19 points is going to be a career night thus far for him, and it bodes well. I think you can see with his strength and his size and agility what there is to come for Spencer as he grows into this offense in a role.
And he also chipped in with about 8 rebounds, as I have very tried to hurriedly mark down rebounds too. And so, you know, when you contribute 19 points and chip in 8 to 10 rebounds, and 3 or 4 of those were offensive rebounds and putbacks, well, that helps your team gain momentum, and that's exactly what they did tonight. The Knights finished the night 27 out of 43 at the free throw line, and like I said, at the end of 3 quarters, they were 6 out of 14 at the free throw line. So they made a real comeback at the free throw line.
Nice turnaround when they needed it.
In the fourth quarter. The Big Red, they were led by Jadarin Wade as he chipped 29 points on the evening, and he was another free throw shooter, as he was 9 for 9 in the fourth quarter from the free throw line, and he fouled out with 29 seconds to go, I think it's something like that. And then Jordan Colbank, his support, had 16 points, and he fouled out with 3:17 to go in the game, and that was a big problem for the Big Red. They wound up 13 out of 18 at the free throw line, but the Big Red had 11 turnovers, and those all basically came in that second half where they were trying to make a run. They were in a hurry, and they made some mistakes when they were trying to get the run.
And I thought a big key was when Colbank fouled out immediately after making a free throw that got his team to within a single possession. You could see the desire was there on his face as he went up and down the court. Definitely one of the leaders, definitely somebody that if you're watching games around the state or watching stats around the state, that's a name you're going to hear and a player you're going to see more of, and somebody that if the Knights get into postseason play and go up against Parkersburg, going to have to watch for that young man, because he's going to remember fouling out here just at the point where he had brought his team back to the brink of winning the game. So, that was a tough bit of luck for him, but you kind of see where the talent lies on that Big Red squad.
Both of these teams were pretty young teams. Of course, Galuski, a senior for the Knights, and Vero's a senior. So, but basically young teams with a lot of juniors and a couple of sophomores throwing things in there. On the whole roster, the Big Red only had 3 seniors. So, you look at what they've got coming on, and as they go through this season, this is their 3rd game of the season, and they were 2-0 coming in here to the Castle, and now they leave with a loss, but they got to play a team maybe that shows them a little something different, and as the year goes on, these boys are going to get better. In the same way with the Knights. The Knights are young in certain positions, and as the year goes on, and a game like this gives them experience and want to and know how, and that's what it takes to make your team gel and come through. And that's one of the traits that Coach Sanders has. He likes to play tough teams in the early part of the season so he can get it on film, and he knows then what he has to work on for the rest of the year, because his thing is the season don't start till February, the end of February, when the sectional tournament starts.
No, that's his real season when the
That's
sectional tournament
Yeah,
starts. We
that's
all
his-
know that.
that's his
After,
season.
if we haven't learned anything in 16 years here of Cable 7 basketball coverage at Preston High, we've learned that, and we're happy to be here for our 16th year. And we're happy that you came along for the ride with us and watched this delayed telecast. Well, that's going to wrap it up for the Mountain Digital post-game report. We want to thank Bob Meisner, who got back here from his holiday vacation trip to California safely, and we're happy that he's back and back on camera and back on the technical side of the ledger for us, and doing a good job bringing you the sights and sounds of Preston Knight varsity basketball here on Cable Channel 7. So for Bob, for everybody back at the Mountain Digital office, for Jack Kime, thank you, Jack, for coming on board with us here. I'm Steve Blake. We will see you once again when the Knights take on John Marshall, and that's just going to be in about 24 hours. So enjoy this replay while it lasts, and we'll be back with more Preston Knight varsity basketball all season long, brought to you by the folks who are coming up next with these messages. But for us, it's adios from the castle for now, and we'll be back in 24 hours.